Yeah, he'll be out and likely until after our All-Star break. So he's week to week right now.
Sammy Fagmo is out there. Looks like he's not playing tonight. Is there any plan to get him in the lineup at any point soon?
There's a chance. We don't bring him up not to consider him.
So, Fagmo,
Sorry, where am I going?
Fagmo, Clark, out, and Riddich playing tonight?
Riddich playing tonight.
In regards to the not skating today after coming back from a trip, the thought behind that?
This is almost like game 7 of the road trip with the time that we got back, and our coaching staff just thinks that we're lacking some pop and some energy in our game right now. Some of it because of travel and that type of stuff, and some of it's probably mental, and it's wearing down on us. So we conserved energy tonight. We'll try this and see if we get some pop back in our game.
Todd, at different times in the season, you talked about wanting to kind of ride the course with what you had, and then at other times wanting to tweak things.
Yep.
Where are you as you head in home game tonight?
Well, we're obviously at a critical stage right now, I think, in our season. Not just tonight's game, but this phase as we head towards the All-Star break is really important that we get things going the right way. And so it starts tonight, and that question could be interpreted a lot of different ways: line combinations, power plays, penalty kill, goaltending, all that type of stuff. But line combinations, we have had success with some lines going well on any given night. Probably the most consistent line we've had has been Deneau's line. Morsey works the best on that line, we found, and with Kevin, and they've been able to produce the most. Kopi's line has created opportunities, but hasn't been able to finish lately. PL and Laugh have been able to produce 5-on-5 throughout this last little stretch. But as I talk about all these, and our fourth line, hasn't produced much, and that's been a big difference for our hockey club. So as I talk about each of those lines, there's a lot good going on, and then there's the odd piece that's out of sync, and that's reflective in our game. And we've got to get everybody back together, playing on the same tune, for lack of a better analogy, I guess, and make sure that we're getting the most out of them. And right now we're not. We're getting a lot out of combinations, but not out of it altogether.
How much of a spark did Riddick give you in that win at Carolina, and how much did that earn him, maybe say, an extra starter here and there?
Well, he's going to start tonight. He's going to play against his old team. We did consider playing him back-to-back in Dallas. That trip wasn't easy. I know it was a late afternoon game, but it was an intense game for him. So he's going to get his start here. We expect Cam. Cam's not an all-star goaltender by accident. He has the game, and he's proven it. So we expect both of them to play, but Riddich will get his start tonight, and we hope that we expect the same type of game as he gave us in Carolina.
Is Kopitar hurt in any way, or aching? Or
Everybody's got bumps and bruises, not just on the Kings, but all 32 teams. It's that time of year. There's a finish line 2 weeks away for every team, and guys are playing through a lot. So everybody has bumps and bruises.
I mean, his face-off percentage has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems it's passing us off a little bit.
Yeah, he's not 100% every night, but like I said, not all guys are, and you've got to be able to with what you have, be as productive as possible.
On the topic of Kobe, your exit interviews, you said it was probably time to lower Drew and Kobe's minutes, but we haven't really seen that this year. Is there any plan in the second half to maybe implement that?
No, we have seen it. Kobe was down last time I checked, and it wasn't since this road trip. Kobe was down 2.5 minutes, so we have seen it.
Todd, when you're going through a stretch like this, is it your voice that becomes stronger, or do you pull back a bit more and hand it over to the players?
Well, it's balanced. They are looking for guidance and leadership, and that starts with me. And when I stand up there, I have to make sure that they're well prepared, but I also have to instill confidence in them, and I have to hold them accountable. So there's a lot of juggling that goes on. But my voice is important. There's moments where I have to step back and maybe the assistant coach's voice has come through. But also some of the leaders and quite frankly, some of the followers have to speak up a little bit. And you can speak through your actions or using your words. And I don't think that's been a major problem with our group. I think we've had the proper reaction from players and staff. We just got to put it all together.
Has anybody emerged as a leader that maybe wasn't earlier in the year that's taken a greater voice over these last, 10 to 12 games?
I would say throughout the season, Mikey Anderson's leadership skills have grown even more. Not necessarily, as you said, throughout this last road trip or the few games before that. It hasn't gone up or gone down, but throughout the season, his ability to lead has, excuse me, has grown quite a bit, and we count on him for that. Kempe has taken more on in those areas. So, those are two guys that I think of right off the bat. You've got Talbot, who has been around a lot, and he carries himself a certain way, different type of leadership. So those three probably have stepped up more.
Rob's gonna speak after this. What's been the nature of the conversations over the last couple of weeks during this bad stretch?
When we talk, we try and take emotion out of it because obviously we're both frustrated at certain points about different things, but we look for ways to help the group. We go through analytics, we look at the team, we talk about combinations. As a staff, we know where we're at with the ability to make a lot of changes player-wise. It doesn't necessarily exist, so we've got to get the best out of the group that we have, and that's our job, and we talk a lot about that. We're real supportive of each other, and we keep fighting through.
Coach, is one of the reasons why you have this philosophy about getting through these rough spots because you know they're going to come in a long season like you have?
Well, they are. I guess the cliche would be right now I say every team goes through this, and when you come out on the other side, you're going to be better off for it. I would say that's the cliche, and that's talking about after the fact when you sit and you look at different teams. But we're in it right now, and we have to deal with the now part. We'll worry about how it affects us later on when we do crawl out of it. But right now, it's focused on now, and there can be benefits for it down the road. But it's about now. It's about tonight.
During the road trip, you had Frank Clark with you guys, and you flip-flopped him and George Spence. Will that continue, and how difficult is it to take a player like Spence out of the lineup who's been playing pretty well?
It's hard. We're trying to develop two young defensemen right now. Spenny will go in tonight, and we'll make that decision whether or not it keeps going back and forth. After tonight's game, we'll reevaluate and see where we are tomorrow.
As you focus on your team's game, how much do you start paying a little more attention to the standings or paying attention to the standings?
It's always there. We are in control of where we are right now, and we're at 50 points halfway through. That's a 100-point season if we replicate it. We've been the tail of two teams for 2/3 of the first half. I thought we were as good as we've been in a long time. This last little spin here, we've already directed some comments to that, so we have to get back. But we've got to replicate the 50-point production again, and that should give us enough to be in the playoffs. But certainly we want to be playing better, and we don't address the players and say, hey, we've got 4 games on hand on this team, and we're 8 points up, or we're 3 points down. We don't do that. The players are aware of the standings, and there's a lot of hockey left, and we didn't do it when we were playing really well and running off a lot of wins, and we don't do it when we're in one.
What player would you say has been the most frustrated, that maybe you've been concerned about the frustration level over this last couple of weeks?
It's probably not a fair question for me to answer just to single out guys, because the frustration level sometimes is about caring, and you can take it too far. And if I signal one guy out, then it can be interpreted the wrong way. We have a lot of guys that care. I saw Kopi the other day, he turned the puck over on the power play and smashed his stick over the net. I haven't seen that in my 5 years here. I've seen him very emotional behind closed doors, but that's because he cares, not because he's frustrated or anything like that. So if I answered that question, I think it can be interpreted many different ways by many different people, so I'm staying away from it.
Saw Victor Arvidsson skating in a red jersey before practice today. Has he been skating for a while, or is this kind of like the first step?
No, we were on the road for 12, 13 days, and you guys didn't come by morning skates when he was out there, so he's been skating a little bit. His timeline, we're hoping everything continues to go well. He will, excuse me, he'll continue to progress on his own for a while, and then we hope that we can integrate him into the team either right before the break that I spoke about, or after, if everything progresses well. Now, integrate into the team doesn't mean, hey, go play 25 minutes a night. He's got a lot of work to do and a lot of catching up to do with feeling what it's like to be on the ice again. Last year when he came back was at the beginning of the year. Teams are still finding their way. This year, you're going to come back and he'll be going 100 miles an hour, so we've got to be aware of that.